It's week 8. You made it. Yay! During this final week of our course, you're going to be reflecting upon your own learning experience with the content of this course, as well as your interaction with your peers and with your instructor. You will also be posting your final project so that you can receive feedback from your peers. Regie Routman says, ongoing professional conversations among peers, student-led literature conversations, partner and small group collaboration. These exchanges of ideas are at the heart of engagement and learning. Reflective teachers are the best teachers, and reflection is part of the teaching profession. We must continually reflect on our knowledge of students through relationships and assessments and on our own teaching practice. By the end of this week, you will have reflected on learning throughout this course to inform your own teaching practice. Forum 8.1 this week. Deals with reflection. Use this opportunity to reflect upon your learning and share your reflections with your fellow learners by answering the following 3 questions. What areas of learning have been significant for you in the course? What aspect or aspects of this course would you change, and why? Were you able to function effectively as a self-directed learner in this course? Why or why not? Responding to your fellow learners is optional. Once our course has ended, you will receive an email with directions on how to access the end of course survey. These end of course surveys help us when we revise courses. We really take into consideration the comments that you make. So this is your opportunity to assist in shaping the learning environment for this program, and your input is very important to MVNU. Bear with me. I live out in the boondocks, so my internet is not great today. You're going to submit your lab timesheet here, and please make sure that it is complete. This is the final project rubric. So it starts out with the assessment artifacts. To be exemplary, do you have 3 or more developmentally appropriate assessments administered in addition to the developmental spelling inventory, all clearly uploaded? Your analysis paper in the introduction, is it a clear and accurate introduction to the student and the learning environment with cited explanation of the purpose of the developmental spelling inventory, or the DSI? Criterion 3 is the analysis of your paper, interpretation of the assessments. Clear and objective analysis of students' word study understanding based on facts from each of the assessments. Uses the DSI to place student in the correct stage of word learning and promote developmentally appropriate learning outcomes. Criterion 4 is the quality of content in your paper. Is the information written demonstrating a firm understanding of literacy development And could it be shared with a caregiver in mostly jargon-free terms? Now, criterion 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 all were part of the lesson plan, which was submitted and scored in week 7. You will be submitting that same plan in week 8, but it is already done and it is already scored. Week 10 is the overall quality of the project. The text is professionally presented without spelling or grammatical errors. And your artifact reflection is on chalk and wire. So when you submit to chalk and wire, make sure that the artifact reflection is showing up, as well as this final project. To be exemplary, it needs to be entirely complete, and you need to show a deeply reflective description of your strengths and weaknesses as an educator, sharing specific instances in dealing with the various elements of diversity, and aligning your work with appropriate Ohio teaching standards and the SPA standards. The Ohio standards for the teaching profession can be found in our syllabus. If you have any questions about this rubric, please ask. The final project, the assessment analysis paper with lesson plan. Now, completion and assessment of this assignment is critical and it's mandatory. So please make sure that your final project shows up on chalk and wire and your artifact reflection shows up on chalk and wire. If you have additional questions about this key assessment, please ask me. If you need help with chalk and wire, here is the email, and they can help you. Now, if you earn an unacceptable in any portion of this key assessment, we're going to have a conference to discuss why your score is unacceptable, which is a score of 1. Here are the directions, which were the same as week 7 for your rough draft. Please read them again. And then it says to prepare your lesson plan based on the assessment and analysis, but we have already done that lesson plan. I was not going to have you make 2 lesson plans back to back. So we are taking week 7's lesson plan and using it again in week 8. Make sure that you have a formative and summative assessment in that lesson plan, that you have included artifacts in the appendix. If you have any questions, please ask me.